We are sisters who channel ancient and divine beings. These beings teach us how to be better people, leading to better lives.
Hello friends, I'm Angie.
I'm Michelle.
And we're Blue Heavens. We're continuing our channel of our friends that have passed and their experiences with their shadow self and their egos.
So please enjoy our video.
Enjoy it. We love y'all.
Now you have a different friend that's coming forth, a different friend, because she's going to clear the energy a bit, the higher, and she's going to speak on a better.
Okay.
Now she's sitting between the girls because she loves these girls, and she said, because, and now we're going to give a positive when you deal with your shadow.
Yes.
She said, God bless her, by the way.
Thank you. Yes.
She says, we need to know what happens to positive when you let it go.
Yes.
She said, this teacher over here allowed me to speak and heal with my shadow. When he approaches you, take the offer. I denied it for a few days because I knew it all. But that nice young man, Lokaous, comes and says, you need to really deal with that. He comes in so beautiful. He comes in and he allows it. And she goes, no, I'm going to let her just a little bit.
Okay.
Just a little. Because I'd like to get sort of some of this.
Right, and they can hopefully feel the difference.
Well, that's what we're doing,
right.
So they do feel the difference. But see, her energy, she's allowing it. I'm allowing it to a degree.
Right.
Just a little bit.
And this is a comparison of someone that hasn't dealt with their shadow that was here versus someone that did face their shadow before they'd passed.
Right.
So you should feel a big difference.
And you're going to feel it right now. So if you hear me speaking and saying I, knowing it's under my protection, it's under Loki's protection here. Okay. So people can't enter. So she's not entering Michelle. She's like right here, talking to Michelle's ear. But I'm going to allow her to speak through me, if that makes sense. Yes. It may not make sense to others, but that's what's going on. As long as it makes sense to you, that's what matters to me. I just want them to feel the energy. But I sat and I go to, on my bed, and where am I going? Where am I really going? I knew I was dying. They told me I was dying. I knew I was dying. Of course I knew I was dying. I didn't want my kids and everybody to have to see me this way. I've done a lot of things. I've done a lot of things, more than, I would say. And he came to me the first day, and I didn't want to deal with it. It was like, you don't want to deal with it. But the nice young man, he said, honey, I'm off. It would be nice if you could deal with it now. And it's hard to give up this body. I understand it's hard to give up this body, but I knew. And he said, one thing that got me to do this was, do you want this to terrorize your family? And he says, I love you, and you love you. So he loves you, and he pointed up, and his eyes were so pure, so blue, so beautiful. How could you not trust that? I mean, you had to, the purity in his voice and the way he looked, it just gave me the open in my heart. He said, letting go is hard, and he said, part of me was letting go, was admitting I'm dying. He came back to me, and we sat, and he was harsh, and he doesn't come in, and he doesn't sit there and sugarcoat it, say, oh, honey, like the nice man did. He comes in harsh. At first, when I seen him, he was black, he was dark, he was scary, and I admit he looked like a devil to me. And it was terrible, but I knew I loved my family, and the nice young man reassured me it was all going to be okay. I trust God. I read the Bible. This nice young man looked like everything I've ever thought he would look like. And I was very happy. I said, well, if I have to trust. It's like your Christmas Carol, how you see that. And I felt like he was the ghost of Christmas past. He was my guide. He was saying, trust what's coming to you. You may not like what you see, but trust. And it wasn't who I thought it was going to be. And I was scared, and he said, don't be scared, but this is what we're going to have to do. He was harsh with me. I have to admit, we cried. I cried a lot. The last time I seen him, I was probably a day away, a few hours of dying, And I can say that now. Before I couldn't, but now, see, I'm in a wonderful place right now, so I can say that. He said, you got a few hours. And I could hear his voice, but I couldn't see him. And I seen him, he was actually beautiful. And how you see him now. Well, not how you see him now, not when you were seeing before the cave.
Okay.
It's how you see him now. The
Right.
beautiful green eyes,
Yes.
the long hair braided. And he came to me and he took my hand and he goes, congratulations, honey. He goes, I know this is going to be a tough road, but I've had your back the whole time. And you know what he told me? He said, the devil you saw was you. I was portraying what you had held on in her body.
Yep.
He said, I was just portraying to you your body. But he said, you braved on. You braved on. He said, that wasn't me. That was you yelling at yourself
Wow.
with my voice, he says. Because you had to face it through my energy, but you had to face your own darkness. Like it sat in front of me and yelled at me. And it was mean. This part of me was very mean. And when I didn't see it anymore, because I felt the last time I screamed, I cried, and they thought I was having a heart attack. They had to come to my side. And I told him to get away from me because I knew I had to do this one last session, which was the hardest. But it felt freeing. And I knew I was ready to go home. I knew I was ready to go wherever. I was waiting for this young man because he said, "Go come and get me." It was time. And I was waiting for him. And I was very happy about that. And but this man, now you know he's Loki. I don't care that he says he's an aspect. I knew then who he was. He didn't know who he was, but that was okay. And he just was a beautiful man who taught me through my own. He made me face the ugly. And that's what it is your shadow is a very ugly being. And this is how I had to deal with things. Now, you can be dealing with yours in a different way. I was close to death. This is how I chose to deal with mine.
Right.
I found that out later. That was my choice. I could have done it in here and sleep. I could have done it other ways.
Wow.
But they knew the only way for me was to yell at it, scream at it, let it go. That death would be easier. And it was. It was a very... So I understood from this body, from this
Right.
physical body. I'm still here, just not, you know. And he taught me that. And I got to see that nice young man. He came, he was so beautiful, but his wings were out. But he's more beautiful than before in the light. And I would like to say this with people when you talk about life after death, is what we're talking about.
Yes.
If I may.
Yes.
And it'd be different for everybody. You know?
Right.
But for me, my experience, I had just let go of all my garbage. I thought beforehand I was going to miss my kids, my husband. I thought, I thought I'm gonna fight it. But when I seen him, no, I didn't want to fight anymore. He was so beautiful. His eyes were so reassuring. He took my hand like this, and he goes, "You ready to go? You feel that? Can you see
absolutely.
it?" And he goes, "It's time now." And his wings were out. It was beautiful. And he picked me up. I saw myself leave. And I was good with it. I was fine. He said, "Take one last look." And I took one last look. And he said, "Bid her farewell, you bid her farewell." And I go, "Okay." And I was like, and he said, "Think of all those amazing journeys that she took." And I said, "Yes, she took some amazing journeys." And he goes, "And now you're taking another amazing journey, honey. You will take another amazing journey, but you get to go." And it was beautiful. He showed me something that was the most beautiful. And he said to me, he goes, "Are you ready?" Of course I was ready. Of course. He said, "Now it's time to go and complete the rest of your journey. Now it's time to go." And I got to see, and it is true. I got to see my mom. I got to see my sisters. I got to see, when I say sisters, I'm talking about past lives. You see everybody from all your lives. Your family
Wow.
become. And I had some sisters from another life that I had forgotten. When I seen them, I recognized them. My mom from this current incarnation. I seen brothers and people I didn't even recognize came. They both loved me, but then the minute they take your hand, you know who they are. It was beautiful, and it is true. But that was my experience.
Right.
I don't know anybody else's, but this was my experience. Right now, I'm blissful. I'm just an energy ball, and I get to go, and I'm peaceful, and I get to do whatever I kind of want to do. I check on my loved ones, but I know they're strong. They got me in them. I know they're good.
Yeah.
Their father take it. But I know my kids are very strong. They got it. But this is what I want to help, because I knew when you guys do that nice young man channels, I wanted to make sure, and Loki, which that's not his name. He has a different soul name, but for
Right.
reasons we go by Loki. Because that is an aspect that he is, by the way. But these energies they changed my life. And when I seen Michelle and I seen you and I seen them around you, I said, that nice young man is here. Oh, and I'm just like, I owe him everything. And I owe Loki everything. I owe both of them everything because my life is so... And I see them, by the way. I see them all the time.
Yeah.
I don't see Loki, but I see Lokaous. Oh, beautiful Lokaous. I love him.
Yeah.
But all the energies I have met. I've met Marcus. I have met, who calls himself Marcus.
Mm-hmm.
And I have met Azra. I got to meet him. But they're here to help. Take that. But this is what happens when you let go. And that part of me, it was very vicious. I like to say it's probably worse than your friends. That's how bad. And you see him nodding. And it was much worse than his, believe it or not. And I let it go. My family never has put up with that burden
Right.
anymore. And they're having a wonderful life.
Right.
So if the offer comes to you, take it. You watch this and you feel like you need to do that, then please do that. I'm hearing my time is up. Loki says my time is up. So
Thank you, and I'm proud of you for working on your stuff here because that took a lot of strength to do that.
And please, I'm proud of you for everything you've done. And tell your sisters, I know she's not presently here, I am proud of this divorce that she's doing. Now, do you feel that energy shift?
Yes. So, I want to ask, how can we work on our shadows here while we're alive? What do we need to do?
Okay, well, this is what we do. So, well, this is the friend. I took mine as a joke. I'm like, but now people are trying to show me Bibles. And it was the way of Lokaous. Now try to throw the Bibles at me, come on, And so you probably have been given signs. Your sign, mine was always, when you feel like you're invincible, you feel like you can do no wrong, you'll feel the wrong is right. Like drinking is good. That was my vice. You'll feel all of these as, and when you try to do good, you'll hear something saying, you're just doing it for charity. I would do something nice for people. That's what I would hear. You're just doing it to make yourself feel better. And actually, I found out later, no, I was actually doing something nice from the,
Right.
but I was hearing that. And Loki said that's what he always got as well.
Right.
So understand that. You're doing something nice, that's coming purely from your heart. But your ego will always make you feel bad. And you just acknowledge that. You have to, first you need to start with your senses. If you overdrink, you overeat, you over something, anything, stop it. That's your ego. Or don't do it as much. But how you work with it is you just slowly let it go. If I had actually worked with mine, it wouldn't have been just a one-time. Some people can do a one-time.
Yeah.
Most cannot do a one-time. And I just dealt with things as they came around. You know my life and how things were coming at me. I should have just dealt with it when it came. Like if I had like a dark thing come at me, instead of saying it's a lesson, I'd be like, what did I do to deserve this? What did I do to deserve this? I started losing faith that there was something here. I really thought I was cursed by the devil. I really did. Because I would see my shadow self as the devil.
Wow.
So I thought I was the devil. I really did. I thought I was the
That
devil.
explains a lot of stuff.
I thought I was Satan.
Wow.
From my point of view, Bibles were thrown in my direction. I feel people are going to, if you're drawn to things like this, if you see this, you're already drawn to the ego bust. This is what I would watch for,
Okay.
was people that say, I busted my ego. They haven't busted their ego. That means their ego is speaking for them. I fell for these traps. I fell for these things. I would watch spiritual things. Not stupid. I'd watch them, And I'm like, they're like this big old... There's a big difference, like when Krishna talks, for example. He has no... there's none there.
Right.
Talk to Azra, there's none. Big difference. They don't have it.
Right.
Loki, he does.
Yeah.
But that's what makes my dad.
Right.
But he's meant to keep that and meant to be that. But if you
Right.
met, and like Azura, she has none of that either. I'm not talking about here. I'm talking about Azura, But you girls carry Azura energy.
Right.
But you carry all the energies. But people are telling, people that say they have no ego but these beings have no ego. Lokaous has an ego because he was human.
Right.
But it helps and suits him to teach. Yeah. Loki has an ego, we all know that. But that helps him teach as well. These beings have no ego because they actually don't need this. They teach love, And I've actually learned from Azra. So sad, it took him 35,000 years. But he is a wonderful teacher, and he will sit and talk. So I would say if you talk to anything, you can talk to Jesus, you can talk to whomever. But it takes time to talk. It's basically you're talking to your ego. Me, myself, since I'm a visual, I was a visual, always a visual. If you didn't know that, I was a visual. I like to hear, but I was a visual. But so if you're a visual person, visual in front of you.
Okay.
If you're somebody that's more of an auditory in here, see, I do big words and smart. She seems shocked like he's actually smart.
You read a book over there.
I did. My brain cells already maybe multiplied to 2, maybe. Yeah. I know. She seems shocked. That's why I've addressed it. She seems like, what? You sound smarter. Yeah. My teacher over here.
Yeah.
I see. I can
learn. Some learnings.
And so if you're auditory, like close your eyes and listen to it talk and badger you. And then you just tell it to be quiet. Shh, be quiet. And when you hear it, the more you hear it, do affirmations. I am strong. I am love. And believe it or not, it shuts that ego up. And it'll shut up. But when you don't work with your shadow, it's a face-to-face confrontation, and if you... And
someone's going to get hurt.
Well, you see what happened. You see what happened to me. I got hurt. The ultimate way to go. And then I won. Y'all meant that. And he meant it too.
Yeah.
But that's what I would do. And if you're like a visual, I guess it just depends on you and how to deal with your shadow.
So we need to observe it, right?
So everything that I'm talking about is you would observe what you're doing.
So our true self, so the spirit us outside this vehicle is that observer. That energy that observes what we hear, what we see.
Okay, well you have self. Now, I don't want to give the mistake there's only one. You've got 2. You can see your good and see your bad. Remember they got the devil on one and the angel here.
Because we're in duality.
Right, so you are duality. If you really want to bring the angel forth, ask for that angelic presence. Lokaous came on my behalf several times, by the way. He came in several different ways, my favorite was he came in a bar. I seen this man that seemed didn't belong in the bar. Didn't belong in the bar at all. He was going to get his ass beat. But he was preaching to me, and he was trying to talk to me and be my friend, and I really wanted to talk to him because he made sense. He didn't feel like he belonged here. He didn't feel like, and he said, I said something snide, I was snide, and he said, tell that one to shut up, I want to talk to you, like trying to get to my authentic me. And I go, he said, just say it. I go, shut up. He goes, and quiet. And I was the quietest, I didn't hear anything, and it felt like lifting. Wow. And then I found out later that was Lokaous. Wow. You see, beings can calm down here. I mean, if you didn't think they can, they can come down. Yeah. But he came down several times. That one was just funny because he didn't belong in the bar.
Was in a person.
He was a person.
He was a wow.
It wasn't. He did not channel somebody.
Right.
This was a big.
Became a person to intervene.
Yes.
Just like the Christmas Carol.
Yes.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Oh, you didn't? Oh.
I think I've heard of people just being angels in places.
You've talked to him before too.
Oh, I bet I have.
So is she.
Wow.
You both have talked to somebody that didn't make sense in a certain atmosphere. Trevor saw him.
Wow.
Trevor seen him at Walmart. Trevor said somebody just stood out, didn't make sense to him. Huh. And Trevor was having a bad day, and he said, "You're gonna have a good day. Just keep your chin up." And Trevor looked over, and when he wanted to say Lokaous, but he backed up and didn't say anything. Huh. And he looked around, and the guy smiled at him, and Trevor walked away, but never saw him again. Wow. So yes, he came down in physical. Wow. You and me, physical. Wow. But he came to me several times. So they will come amongst you even to talk to you, because he knew I was saving me to some degree. And I could have made that choice at any point. I just chose not to. I chose to look at the other part. I honestly thought I was a devil, and I told this man, I said, I thought I was a devil. And I said, you're not the devil. He goes, why do you think that? He goes, the devil would look like this. And I said, but that's what I look like. He goes, no, that's what your ego wants you to think. And he made so much sense. His words helped me. Like he took me apart. And he made me see stuff. He made me look at my ego here Maybe see myself here. Maybe that's what you need to do.
Maybe.
Look at yourself from a different perspective. That's what he made me do. Can I just have
Okay.
Lokaous?
Right.
Because since he was the one that came down and did this, can I just have Lokaous?
Right.
Because he was the one that did this for me, and it was how he said it.
Right.
It was like an analogy of my. So I'm gonna just let him.
Yeah, let's do that.
I can't calm it down.
That's amazing.
They can't. I
But
can.
since you've been human, you can.
I'm Pleiadian and human. I can do
Wow,
whatever.
That's amazing.
You gotta remember I'm divine. I
Yeah,
can do whatever.
that's amazing.
So I have come down before.
Wow.
So I sat and I told him, I just said, he kept saying he was the devil. And I said, no, you're not the devil. But you have to put like in each hand and look at yourself. Look, I told him, even look in the mirror. I said, what do you see in the mirror? And he would describe this horrible person. I said, that's your ego. I said, tell me. And then I would say, look. So I had a mirror. Of course I produced a mirror. Of course I produced a mirror. He couldn't remember why I'm in a bar producing a mirror, but I produced a mirror. And, I gave him the mirror, and he looked at the mirror, and I said, now say, I am love. And he goes, I'm in a bar, I can't say that.
I love that bar.
But you know what I did? I made people not bother him.
Wow.
See, I can do a lot of
Right.
things. Made people kind of ignore him, and I said, nobody's watching you. And he looked, he goes, how'd you do that? I do a lot of things. And he goes, couldn't you have waited till I was somewhere else, like in my apartment? I go, no, because I felt this was the best place to do this.
Yeah.
Because this is where he felt the ugliest.
Yeah.
But that's where his ego, I knew, was going to be the
Yes.
predominant.
Yeah.
That didn't one work. I wanted to work where he was. So I had him look in
Where
the
he's
mirror.
pumped up and that protective, his ego was at work there.
So you got it, right?
Yes.
So that's a good place. Go to where your ego
Yes.
is predominantly the worst place.
Yeah.
I had him take a mirror and say these wonderful things about himself. And when he did, he didn't see the devil no more. He said, I see a light behind me. I said, of course you see a light behind you because you're divine. I said, say I am love. I am love. I said, say I am Jesus. I'm not saying that. I said, say I am Jesus. I'm not. I said. So he said, I am Jesus. But that's when he said it, he lit up. Because you all carry this Christ consciousness energy.
Yes.
So you are Jesus. And that. And then he wanted to go back to, I am God, and pump up. I said, no. Let's go back. And I snapped at him. And that's what I kept doing to him. So believe it or not, you can just simply with the ego, look in the mirror and tell yourself, you don't see this pretty person, that's your ego. Start telling yourself these beautiful things. You got, I am love. Little things like that will help.
Yes.
That's how you work with your ego. You're basically telling your ego to shut your mouth. Your ego can work with you. I work with my ego. And it's your inner child. I think it's a little brat, and it can't shut up. You got to tell it sometimes.
Yeah.
And sometimes, and that's what I had him do for a long time. After I talked to him, I said, if you feel your ego coming back, he said, how do I get rid of the devil? That's what he was calling his ego, the devil. I said, just go away. He goes, well, I need something more than that. I said, go away. Like that to him. And he always had to be theatrical.
Yeah.
So he goes, can I just do that? I said, I don't care what you do. Do that. So for a long time, I know you see him do it. He was like that.
Yeah.
He gets into the snarky, and he, like that. I know you see him do it.
Yeah,
because
he'd
that's how,
snap himself out of stuff. Yeah.
that was me. I told him
Yeah.
that. So, and he would,
Yeah.
and it would refocus him. And that's a Tony Robbins technique. I actually, so yeah. But it
Perfect.
refocuses you. So when you feel your ego's going out to what? Because what it does, it just snaps it out, and you just go, okay, that's and you'll just do it. You notice how I just did like that.
Right.
It's like in that, and I feel my ego.
Plus that snap, it's like it's a reset. There's something
Watch.
about that theatrical
And your
snap.
ear.
Right.
Do it by your ear. Don't, here, like that, don't care.
Yeah.
That bothers your ear.
Yeah.
Makes your ear hurt. And that's another thing too. It makes you, but right.
Right.
So that's what I would do.
Okay.
And I had him do that for a real long time, until his ego just came over. But he quit working with it.
Yeah.
That was the last time I seen him. And because I knew at that point, and he did this for a long time. But he let humans and words get to him, because he stopped working on it. I had him good up until some things, and you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So, at that point, I couldn't get to him. It was just too clouded. And no, that there wasn't a devil. It was, he thought that.
Right.
He let the ego take over like Brad Pitt and win. But if you work consistently, this is an everyday thing. This is not just you do it one
Right.
time, your ego, but your shadow self, that's what you do. And that's what I would suggest.
Yeah.
Face it head on. And because your ego is going to be this horrible, horrible person, this little voice in your head telling you these things. It all starts with that. And you may always hear it. You're never going to get rid of it. You're
Right.
honestly, unless you're where I'm at, you're never going to get rid of it. And that you have to always, but just taming it, just keeping it here at base. and
Yeah.
understanding that you're not ever going to just get rid of it,
Right.
but you have to work with it. Be your
Right.
best friend.
You can't get rid of it while you're here in duality.
But
it
when-
exists here in duality with you.
And when you die, when you leave this vehicle, when I say die, but death, when you leave, Loki will show up.
Yeah.
Or an energy of like Loki will show up. I can't just say it's him.
Right.
There's many
Right.
that do what he does. But he's one of the few that just gets it. And if you've worked with your ego all your life, let's say you've worked with it all your life, it just kind of goes. There's no room for it.
Right.
And he just kind of stakes it and sucks it up, then we come. But because your friend had dealt with it, see, she didn't have to. It just left her.
Right.
See, so that's what can happen. But
And
she
her
understood.
family didn't have nightmares and all this
No,
stuff. All
they
this
didn't.
stuff.
You
that
had nightmares.
oh, yeah.
You had many, many nightmares because of his.
Yeah, his
running around.
ego did some damage to me. I lost my shit.
Did you meet him? You met that ego.
Oh, yeah, I felt it around me. I was destructive after he died. I was destructive, and it was that. It was that energy around me. It was trying to get me to kill myself.
Well, that energy's still telling people to do
Yes.
that. Michelle hears it.
Yeah. It was
Hears
bad.
it, and Azra has to sit there and.
That's also why I wanted to go to mediumship, because all that stuff started to happen. It didn't feel right.
Right. Yeah, well, no. And you notice his energy is much different. He
Yes.
channeled and she feels much different. And because he's not the same as he was,
Right.
but he loved that energy. And part of him, you don't feel bad, but you just feel like you're held accountable.
Yes.
You're always held accountable.
Yeah.
Self-love was mentioned. So that's what I would do. You just tame it. Tame it. And that's really what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but everybody has a different way.
Yeah.
But just, if something makes you feel bad within internally, that's your ego. You just do, like, listen to wonderful music. Read a nice book. If you watch movies that have a lot of violence, you are literally, when you watch a movie, you go into it.
Yeah.
Well, that's your shadow. Watch that stuff. I
Yeah.
mean, feed your mind with some really good stuff. Move around, walk,
Yeah.
and that. So these are the things that will get rid of that. The more good you feed, the better it is. And that includes eating and all of this other stuff. The more good you can feed in your head, see, that also gets rid of that ego.
Right, if you start making better choices to where that ego can't hold you down
Absolutely.
anymore. Right, so it can't tell you you're a bad person and that you're a liar. Well, I've been telling the truth for X many days now. You can shut it down with, well, I don't do that anymore.
Right. That's why when she went into court, that's
Right.
what happened to her.
Yeah.
Her ego was trying to come through and make her sound like the victim. Like, there's many times that she could have came through, and she heard Azra right in her ear, and he did that in her ear, by the way. And she didn't physically do that.
Right.
He, like that to her ear, to snap her out of it, and you could tell when it was happening because she would twitch her head. So, and it does become internal. Have your guide do it.
Yeah.
Have your guide do it to you. Say, every time I feel listening to that snap in it hurts.
Yeah.
But they'll do it. But that's the advice I would give,
Okay.
truthfully. And I will do more because there's so many different things with the shadow you can do.
Yes.
But I really would start feeding your mind good. And like
Yes.
you said, make better choices.
Yes.
Have your guides do this. Or whatever. It don't matter to me what it is.
The earache, they can make our ears ache pretty easily. That could be a thing. Whatever you're
Yes.
with, tell your guides. You can make like a contract with you and your guides of help me by doing this for me. You get to set the rules.
You do, yeah. You set the rules and
Yeah.
the guides, and they will have you do it.
Yep.
She told us, well, Azra did this, but she's also, as well, she said, make my voice cough. She'll cough. Like, shows like she can't talk. So,
Yeah.
but she has asked this of us. So we
Right.
do these things for her.
Yes.
Because she wants to stay honest, and she knew yesterday she could have gone and played, but she wanted not to do that. So we made sure that didn't happen. So
Yeah.
she would, like that, and she would hear that. She was, okay, I got it. And she didn't.
Yeah.
Or so we didn't let her be the victim.
Yeah.
It does work.
Yeah.
So that's what I would suggest. And if anything, meeting these people, meeting the 3 people you met, it's a good thing. Listen to the words, heed the words, heed the warnings from the 2. Actually, from the 2 that we did here.
Right.
1, and then the positive.
Right.
Feel the energy. Close your eyes. Feel the energy, and especially when the negative comes through, feel it.
Yes.
And it has nothing but anger and mean in it, and saying what it said. Do you really want that lingering in your body? That thing
Right.
is a nasty, dirty piece of
Right.
smell. When I seen that, after I had to come, this is not what I wanted to see. His second of death, I was told to leave him. I hated that, but I had to leave him. And it was this. And I just seen his ego just sitting there, and it just stunk. you leave this in your body. Why? And he's seen it. It just made him angry.
Yeah.
But it just, but that's the stinky part that you had to, and also too, when she came in here, I should have had you smell, because it stunk.
Oh, it did. I thought someone farted.
Yeah, because it stinks.
It did. I thought Michelle or I farted.
I wanted to bring it up to you.
Yes, I smelled it.
That's it. That was that energy that
crazy.
smells. This to end it, what did he always like to do? What was his favorite thing to do in life?
He was always drunk. He liked to drink.
He liked to take out the trash.
Oh, he loved the garbage.
Metaphorically, he knew he needed to take out the trash.
He'd always pick up trash at places.
Why do you think
his thing?
he was trying to?
Man. It's like he knew he had to deal with his garbage, so he did it physically and not.
How did that make sense to you?
Yeah.
But that energy stinks.
Yes.
In a way, he always wanted to get rid of it.
Yeah.
Always. But he.
Yeah.
So understand, this is what you carry in your body. Why do you want to carry something like that in your body? Just get rid of it.
Yeah, get rid of it.
You know, or tame it.
Tame it, right. I feel like we need to heal it again.
You want to heal it, but work with it.
Yes.
It's there. You got to think your ego is there to protect you.
Yeah. So we hope you enjoyed this video talking about facing our shadow self and why we want to face it and how we want to face it when we are here in a physical body instead of leaving it for our loved ones to deal with it. It's just like a wrecking ball that destroys everything, and it's our wrecking ball. So let's see what our ego is. Let's look at it and let's deal with it.
I'm the friend. And do I get to a
Hola,
name?
mi amigo.
I like that. I really want to come here and start teaching because I wish I had this when I was here. I didn't have this. And I want all ages to watch this. I want men that are big, bulky guys to the little girls that are intimidated by the big guys. Yeah. Anybody. I've seen a lot of everything where I worked. But, I mean, even if you do figure who I am, I'm not him anymore. I'm a much more evolved him. Yeah. So I am not him, I'm an evolved him. But we really do want people to understand this is because you have to understand this stuff. I didn't understand any of this stuff. I'm still learning from where I'm at, but they told me that because I was human, but I was a human,
yes,
I can help Lokaous.
Yeah.
And that's an honor. It's an honor when you can teach. But I want people to understand because I wanted this so bad when I was, and I want people to feel my heart here as I really do. She knew me in the life I had here. I'm not that same person. I went back to that person so you could meet him, but I'm more evolved. I'm not him anymore. I am much more, because I listen to the beings of great beings, trust me. But I want to teach as part of, and I didn't even have to do this, but I want to do this because I want somebody to tell me these things that didn't want to tell me these things.
Yeah.
And Lokaous was so wonderful. Even right out in there. But what he really did, but he wanted to help.
Yeah.
And there's going to be many Lokaouses that come through wanting to help you. So please take them up on that. I wish I would have just kept on to it and had that nice, doing something different. So I really hope people do get something out of this. And understand this is coming from their heart and mine. And don't wait to come over here to learn it. You already know it. When you go here, I already knew this stuff.
Right.
But I punished myself briefly. And I found out I didn't have to punish myself. It was this, I still brought my ego. That was the punishment part, was my ego punishing me. When then Loki had to tell me that again. So when I faced it again, he's like, but I can get rid of that fragment that bothers everybody. And I hate that because it's now it's telling kill yourself. And that, I can't do nothing about that. He's just here. So let's not leave that for anybody else to deal with. Deal with it here. Deal with your garbage. That's why I took garbage out.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
When and maybe I just figured it out just now.
Wow.
Lokaous, of course, knows it all.
Yeah.
So of course, Marty Pants knows it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring Marcus through because you can't not have Marcus at the very end. You gotta have Marcus. Yeah. You gotta have the man.
He's the exclamation point at the end of all this stuff.
He totally is.
Yeah.
He is. Yeah. I love him.
I know, me too.
He's great, especially when he describes me.
Oh, Lodi.
But though everything is unconditionally beautiful. It is beautiful, and no matter where you are, day and night, doesn't matter, you're loved. Know that you're loved.
Very.
You're very, and when we make these videos, it's so you can achieve the blue heavens. It's a beautiful place to be, the blue heavens. It really is.
It is.
Let's all work together to be the blue heavens. Let's all walk up that mountain together and be in the blue heavens. So that's what we want to achieve.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
We
Yes.
love you. We will see you in our next video.